famous. To all the baby where they broke me at, where don't make me feel like say I'm not man enough. I no get nothing for offer. To all the party when look down on me, where don't make me feel like say the life no go become something. And they walked away. All the people who promise for help me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another episode of your favorite talk show, the Talk to M Show. I deeply apologize for not being here with you for the past couple of weeks, but I'm back, and the show is back and stronger. And thank you for being a part of the show. If you're listening to us on Epic Radio 99.3 FM, thank you for joining us. If you're also watching us on Facebook, thank you for buy data and watch me. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate all you have done, and we appreciate you supporting the show. We are back and stronger, and today we have an amazing show for you. We have an exciting show for you. We have somebody who is used to asking all the tough questions. He's used to be on the other side of the microphone. Today we're going to ask those tough questions to her, and we're going to learn everything we have to learn. If you're a young person out there, your expectations by the end of the show should be that you should be able to make a decision about what you're going to become. As you're aware already, we are on career choices. We have been talking about career choices, I think, since December, and we've had several guests here, and we've handled several topics here. And today we have somebody who's going to tell you about her journey of becoming a journalist, a journey of becoming a media mogul, a journalist of becoming an entrepreneur, a journalist of a journey of becoming an actress. Somebody who's a polymath, I would say, who can do multiple things all at the same time. So at the end of the show, you should be able to figure out at least what your interests are and what you need to do, the resources where you need to go to enhance those skills and become whomever you want to become. Sit back, relax. We have an amazing show. I am your host, your usual host, Mulko Suleiman Bangora, and this show is brought to you by Epic Radio in collaboration with Mulko. We designed the show to coach the next generation, to help the next generation figure out. We self not figure life out yet. We're still figuring it out. So we want us all to figure things out. And this show is here to stay. And thank you for being a part. Thank you for supporting. You can also send in your questions, your comments. You can also call on 079-994-993. You can also text us on WhatsApp, on Facebook. We would definitely ask your questions, so we will answer you. We would definitely like your critique. We'd definitely like to hear comments on how we can, improve the show and make the show more attractive. Thank you for being a part of the show, and we're gonna come back. When I come back, I'm going to tell you all about my guest, and we're going to head straight on into questions.
The life no go become something, and they walked away. All the people who promise for help me, they say come office today, tomorrow, next tomorrow. The story not just the same, but I refuse to give up. I kept on hoping, I kept believing. Now everything don't change. Me wanna see me life now.
So today I have with me an amazing woman, a Sierra Leonean who has committed herself in her professional path, and she's marched through the thick and thin. She's a strong black woman. She's I would say she has displayed and manifested somebody who has travailed through the difficulties of life and through her professional career, and now she's here. She's a Mandela Washington Fellow 2021. She's also a media journalist, TV presenter. She works for AYV TV, and she's also a businesswoman. She's an entrepreneur, and she's a presenter, and we co-hosted the Sierra Leone, the United States Association Alumni Association program on Saturday, and she was amazing. She was phenomenal as usual. So she has her hands on so many things, and she's exceptional in what she does. We have with us Ambassador Phebean Swill. How are you, ma'am?
I'm blessed. Glory to God. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. I decided to bring you to the show to actually, because I've had some male voices. I wanted a female voice, and I wanted so that you can appeal to my female listeners that are out there listening, so that they can highly relate to your story. I want you to share with us. You've been who you are right now professionally. How was your journey like starting off? How did you know you were going to become a journalist?
That's very interesting. I would say I am one of those people who have been blessed by the grace of God to be able to figure things out.
Okay.
I grew up to be a very decisive person. Growing up as a toddler, I always said, you know how you'd ask kids what they'd want to be?
Yeah.
I was told that I consistently said I was going to be an actress and a journalist.
Really?
I was very consistent in saying that. I don't know where that actually stems from, though, because my parents worked at the state broadcaster. Back then, it was Sierra Leone Broadcasting Service.
Okay.
So my mom and dad were colleagues at work. That's how the love story started, and that's how I came about. And on my mom's side of the family, it's we have a lot of journalists in the Foley family. Pius Foley, John Foley, both
So
of them
it's
of
genetics.
blessed memory.
Yeah, okay.
So there are a lot of journalists, although we have more print journalists
Okay.
in my mom's side of the family. But I don't know if it's got anything to do with that background, but I consistently said that I was going to be an actress and a journalist. Both my parents were in acting and journalism. So it was back then in the days of theater. My mom was part of a theater, my dad was too, and they were both journalists. So I don't know if it's got some hereditary aspect of it, but I was very consistent growing up as a child. I said I wanted to be a broadcast journalist and an actress. Even the days in school, from primary school, I was part of the acting team. I was also a bit athletic, so even from preschool, I would participate in sports, represent my school. And up until secondary school, we were always, representing the school for drama competitions, and we would always bring the trophy to the school. So I was always just very decisive about it. But one specific incident happened I don't remember if it was in 2008 or 2000, it was about 2008, 2009. Yeah, probably 2009. After I wrote the WASC. So I transitioned from a private school. Back then it was really difficult to get private schools that took the WASC exam. It was London GCE. And I said I was not going to write London GCE, and my school stopped at 5th form. That's where you'd write London GCE. So I took an extra year to go to the 6th form and take WASC. So after the exam, that the results were out, I had the opportunity now to choose what to go study. And I remember I was not really a prayerful person. I was not really a godly person. I just knew, yes, there's a God in heaven, but I did not sort of like have a close relationship with him. But something in me just said one afternoon, ask God what you should study. And this game we used to play in school, this kind of like investigative game. Police, yes, sir, find me the thief. We have that where we would write things in the paper and fold and ballot. So it just came to me to do that. So I wrote on a piece of paper, mass communication, and one other option I was considering, and blank paper. So it was 3. And then I folded them nicely. As I was folding them, I said, God, you have to choose what I have to go study. Make that choice for me, because I don't know what you want me to do. And imagine this was from a person who was not religious. So I folded them.
At this time, were you, what was the energy like? Were you precipitated by, I need a guide, I need to go do something, but I need a divine guide?
I was. So even though I had all that, consistency growing up, insisting I'm going to be a journalist and an actress, for some reason that day, as I am, I understand what happened then. But back then, I did not understand. That was an encounter with the Holy Spirit guiding me, because He gives you guidance and inspiration to know what to do and how to do things.
So what happened after?
So I did the ballot. I said, I'm going to do this 3 times. And I want you to be consistent with me. Every time, let me pick the specific one you want me to do, and I'm only going to do it 3 times. I folded the papers. I did the ballot the first time. I opened it. Mass communication.
Really?
I did it again. So 3 times consecutively, I picked mass communication. So I knew then that's the answer I needed. So I went to apply for mass communication.
Okay.
And it was also during that year that I had started working actually before I sat to the WASC.
Okay.
So when I left JFK in 5th form, that's when I went to start working. But I was working, I knew this is what I wanted to do. Suddenly that encounter that day, it was just a confirmation that, okay, go ahead, this is your path, go for it. So I went now to do mass communication because, journalism is not yet a field like law or a medicine where you have to be trained, licensed, and qualified to practice.
Okay.
You really don't have to study journalism to practice journalism. You could just wake up one morning and say you have an interest in journalism, and you could become that if you get employment with any of the stations, the media outlets. So you really don't have to study journalism to begin to practice as a journalist. But then that encounter led me to go read mass communication. So at my diploma level, I have a mass communication, a diploma in mass comm. BA level, I have a BA honors degree first class in broadcasting and journalism. So that's just how the Holy Spirit carved my path.
So it was all aligned. Yeah. So what you're saying, like the stars, the moon, everything was just aligned.
Yes.
For you, and you just followed that path, and you didn't fight it. You didn't no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to just follow what is there. I'm tempted to also ask, what were some of the characteristics that you were developing in you as you would grow up? Because for you to become a journalist, it goes beyond just genetics. So I cannot deny science, right? Science is there, it's fixed. But for you, there are also features like, you have to be outspoken, you have to be curious, you have to be patient, there are certain things that needs to really formulate in you as part of you to make you become an excellent. What were some of those characteristics, and how did you recognize them and build on them?
So I would start with those that, people I grew up around, the adults would say, I used to be very nosy as a child.
I didn't want it to
and I asked a lot of questions.
Have a negative connotation, so.
I was very nosy.
Yeah.
Those who were around me when I was growing up, they said, as a toddler, imagine age 3, 5, I would always question people. If you come back from the market, I'm asking you, where are you from? Where did you go? What were you doing? I was very nosy, asking questions, and I was very bold. I was very bold to say things that...
And those were just natural, just came in naturally.
Right. This is why I say to people, mostly search yourself if you're confused about your career path. There is something in you. There are some characteristics that can guide you to your path. Take, for example, some people who are into the medical field. They would tell you they have this knack for helping people in distress medically. You have people... vets who would tell you, they just love animals and they like taking care of them. Search yourself. There is something inside of you that is helping you to point you towards a career path. Do not ignore it, because God does not make mistakes. Once He has, our destinies are planned. We did not just appear and then we're becoming. For Christians, Bible tells us in Jeremiah 29:11 that my thoughts towards you are of good and not of evil, that you prosper and reach an expected end. He says He has formed us from our mother's bellies. He knew us. So when He knows you, it's the plan from who is going to be your mother and your father. He knows. It's intentional. Where you're going to be born is intentional. So if you did not know yourself, you didn't exist, but He created you, you have become. What makes you think His plan was only to bring you into the earth and leave everything up to you? No. So your choice is to follow His guide. Once you do that, you don't go wrong. Everything we are to become, your career has been ordained by God. Your spouse, as your husband or wife, has been ordained by God. The country you're supposed to live in is all part of God's plan. Anytime you step out of the will of God for your life, you're in error. No matter how physically you think you're successful, you would have issues. That's why you would see there are people in the market spaces, some man they sell palmine, but very popular for that palmine business. People come from overseas and they ask for mommy married and say they sell palmine. Because that's what God wants you to do. So God has a plan for all of us,
Yeah.
including your career.
Yeah.
If you, that's why you would see some people in certain spaces. It's not that they're not brilliant, but you look at them, it's like they're
not
dull,
fit.
they're hot.
fit.
Then you know see nothing,
Yeah,
and
and
then they
don't
shine.
fit. Yeah, yeah.
Watch them people, and they, in most cases, you've put yourself where God did not want you to be.
It's true. But people struggle with, how do I know this is God's will for me? That's one thing that people really struggle with. I mean, I gave me your answer, and I have a lot of say to that, but it's a real struggle. And you might think it's easy for you because you might have gone through some experience and you actually experienced God talking to you. But some people haven't, and they don't know the path. They don't know how to go about that. But that's why I'm impressed by how you mentioned when you wanted to invoke a divine spirit, a divine conversation with God, what you did. It was practical, but you told yourself, God, I need, and God is always there.
Now I get credit to the path because He led me to do it.
Yeah,
On my own, I couldn't have come up with that.
Absolutely, He's always there. So it's a very critical point you just raised, that the first step as a young person, if you're struggling with what you want to do, just ask God. And that's the first step. And then to search yourself, like you rightly said, look inwards. What do you have? It's like when God asked Moses, what do you have in your hand? Then Moses answered, I have this rod. So you have something that you have to recognize that you have, build on it, and then become. So growing up, what were some of the resources that you tapped into that helped you shape, your craft?
So it's you could have the gift, the inner gift,
Absolutely.
but it doesn't stop there. That's just the raw material.
Yes.
Build on it. It's like when you're cooking, you have the raw materials, but you don't just mix them in the pot and dish and say, let me eat. You have to use them to make something off of what you intend to do.
Yeah.
The raw material I had was the talent, the gifting that this is the path. But what I've done is to learn more about the field that I'm in. I did a diploma in mass communication.
Exactly.
I went to study broadcasting and journalism at BA level. Beyond those, from time to time, I check myself to do refresher for myself on my own. The internet has a lot of resources. It depends on how you're using them and what you're spending time doing on the internet.
Yes.
Make no mistake, I'm a young person. I'm a 33-year-old woman who spends time enjoying the gists on blogs about what's going on with other people. I do that too. I watch comedy skits and all. But I also have certain time to develop myself, to develop my craft. I go from time to time. There are resources on YouTube. There are refresher courses. Even Yali platform has courses, short courses you can do. I do some of these courses from time to time to build on my craft. Talent alone is not enough.
No.
You have to polish it. And it's not a one-off thing. Knowledge you acquire on daily basis. You cannot say, even if you have 10 PhDs, you should aspire to acquire more knowledge, because learning is consistent. You do that every day. Till the day you die, you keep learning. So that's one thing I don't joke with. I learn. I learn from those resources available online. I also learn from other people. I learn from what I see around. Every good thing I see and pick up, and I'm convinced this is a good thing, I'm looking at, okay, how can I adjust myself to be better? And once you have that goal, it helps you. Another thing I do is I always reach out to people I know in this particular thing I'm looking forward to. They know things I don't know. I am a shameless person when I want help. Sometimes people admire, the interview you conduct on the shows, you ask the right questions. Do you know how many other people I've spoken to put those questions together? Because I understand it cannot take just me to be better. No, it doesn't take just me. There are many times I go to other people, I'm checking. If I'm having a conversation tomorrow on banking, I have friends in that sector, I'm checking. I want to know things. I'm also going online to check things. I'm also paying attention to what people are saying on the streets, because my work involves representing the people. When I'm conducting interviews on news and current affairs discussions, it's not just what I think. You also need to know what the people are thinking, the questions they're asking. So it's constant work to build on yourself what you already have
So at no
to get
point in
better.
time you sit back and say, this is enough.
I'm not complacent.
Yeah, you don't feel complacent. You don't feel like it's enough. So you keep
No, it's
searching,
not.
keep looking. I mean, that's
Enough is not enough.
I know. I mean, but it's a value that is worth cultivating if you really want to be successful. I mean, the greatest minds in the world, they still search. They still go in search. They have people they talk to. I wanted to ask maybe like a lighter note. Have you ever asked your mom and dad, for tips?
Oh, my dad, well, that man used to spoil me. It was really hard for him to talk to me as an adult. Mostly that man felt he was always talking to his baby girl. So I lost my dad in 2019.
Oh,
so may he continue to rest in peace. But my mom, my mother is blunt. My mom is my first critic.
Yeah.
My mom pays attention to every detail of everything she stumbles upon that I have done.
Oh, okay.
My mom is paying attention to how I dress.
Okay.
That earring did not really match that hairstyle. That outfit you wore was not good to read the news or for news and current affairs. That's my mom for you. She's not that kind. Humans are humans. Sometimes the way she would just put it, kind of like tickles your annoyance button. But it's that other aspect, the humility that comes into understand. It helps me to be better than I am.
True.
My mom would look at you and say, I get the point you were trying to make with that question you asked, but you asked it in the wrong way. That's my mom for you. She's my number. It's really hard for my mom to dish out compliments.
Okay.
I like it that way.
Yeah.
Usually I tell people around me, I'm not one person who wants to be surrounded by compliments. Compliments,
just,
you're just telling me I've done good.
Yeah.
But good is not enough for me. I want to be better every day until I get to the best. Even when I get to the best, there has to be something better than the best.
And it's coming from love, though, because when it comes from mom, it's coming from a place.
Yeah.
Of love. And it's actually a good critique. I mean, it's great that you have that one person that's always corrects you and draw and just tune you and just draw you to the right place. It's good to have those people to depend on them when the time comes, because they will be like a very solid support system for you. Do you have siblings?
Oh, I do.
Okay, and are they also on the path of becoming journalists?
No, they all chose different paths. So I've got siblings on my mom's side and I've got siblings on my dad's side. Everyone chose their path.
Okay.
Luckily, I'm the baby of the family. Auntie Lastina. So
Okay. So you're carrying the family torch. Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, I'm happy that you were there. You're carrying the family. I mean, the family genes. Becoming the journalist and the media mogul. Have you faced, as a woman, what are some of the challenges you faced in the workplace or professionally in school? Like the glass ceilings that you had to break through to become who you are. What experiences have you had, and what can you speak?
Oh, let's start with the very obvious sexual harassment. It's really tough to get women who have not experienced sexual harassment. I keep saying to people, there's a difference. Some people would misunderstand it to say, "We man yan you not harass you." That's true. I agree with you. For like you and me, not mean say you harass me, but there's a limit. When I constantly say no and you keep pushing, that's harassment. Also, certain people know for yan you. If you lecture yan you, na harassment.
True.
If you boss yan you, because you have upper hand.
Yeah.
You're more powerful than I am. Yeah. So don't put me in a position where I have to choose yes or no. Don't even do that.
Yeah.
So some of these things people do not understand. But I think that the munkubak and lack of exposure, honestly, with people around us, so they don't understand it. If you boss yan, you're not bad thing. If you lecture yan, you're not bad thing, yes, because it's harassment. Yeah. You're not supposed to do it as my superior. You're not. A boss in the workplace, for yan you stuff. So even if it gets to a point where they say, "Hey, but Amina una two binde," he was wrong in the first place for let you yan you you junior. Yeah. No, don't do that. Yeah. You boss not supposed for yan you. You lecturer not supposed for yan you. It is wrong. So then they na yan not to crime, na harassment. So that's just like one of the obvious things. Wow. Another thing is, in our field, journalism, you have sometimes very difficult conversations, very difficult stories you'd want to work on. And mostly some people advise you to keep your head down as a woman. It's not that some of those people have bad intentions. Some of them, it's coming from a good place. They like you. They're trying to look out for you. Because to be a tough journalist who stands and fights for objectivity and serving the people, it's tough. Especially in Sierra Leone, where you talk to they will not favor APC, they hate you. And then they begin to say, you know, SLPP. Where you talk to they will not favor SLPP, they begin to hate you and they say, you know, APC. So it's a constant, and the more you do it, the more some of them are so, I'm trying to be nice in the way I put it. Some of them are so naive. The other day I watched a clip of one politician saying, "Imbi one let them beat the journalist because he need take him." How do you conveniently as a politician stand in public? And you know there are cameras, not so like now you party there no more they keep comping, you know. In public, a public event, there are cameras everywhere, and you frivolously make such statements. But this is the reality. So when you really do, it's hard for politicians to like journalists. They only like you if the work you're doing puts them in good light. You're not them party.
Like
but once you're doing what is for the people, they want, when you're interviewing them, they want the easy questions, not the tough questions. I'm not your candidate. I did not sign up to work for the politicians. I signed up to represent the people of Sierra Leone. So when I'm conducting my interviews, I have two choices. I either go and do my interviews as a journalist or I back off that interview. But I'm not going to go sit there and make a mockery of my integrity and my professional stance and do rubbish. You know, I'm not going to do it. But so people would come and tell you, oh, you know, you're a woman, keep your head down. When you're doing these things, they begin to hate you. They'll put a target on your back. You're putting yourself in harm's way. It's tougher for even male journalists. But imagine how tough it is now being a female.
So it's like a dual interpretation. They want to dumb you down and make you, know, stay low, and then by the same time they're telling you so that you are also be careful. But it has a double interpretation, like double entendre. So I mean, I get it, and what you allude to is absolutely prevailing, you know, in the workplace. We're going to take a short break. It's 8:30 right now, and then we come back. I know you have somewhere to be, so you're going to be with us for the next 15 minutes. So sit back, relax, and when we come back, we're going to continue.
I'm not man enough. I no get nothing for offer. So only party will look down on me. Where don't make me feel like say the life no good become something. And they walked away. All the people will promise for help me. They say come office today, tomorrow next tomorrow. The story not just the same, but I refuse to give up. I kept on hoping, I kept believing. Now everything don't change. Me wanna see me life now. It don't get better now. Famous standing name now. You know go fit say you don't know me now. Anytime I like a fly to Dubai now. Hey, with me baby now. Anything I like I they buy now. Turn up, cause me I let they turn down and then they run down. I'm looking forward to a brighter future. I'm moving ahead. I never stop for nothing. I'm looking forward to a brighter future. I'm moving ahead. I never stop for nothing.
I never say it. Shake up your body, yeah. Then I mean the men all about the gladiator. Shake up your body to the beat, yeah.
For this one where we dey, people go come inside you life. Some go come for stay, and some go come and go. The reason why someone go stay, now only God know. The reason why someone go.
Welcome back, and thank you for being a part of the show. If you're listening to us on the radio, thank you for tuning in. Epic Radio 99.3 FM. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, also thank you so much for being a part of the show. I am your host, Mulko Suleiman Bangura, and if you're just joining us, we have an amazing and phenomenal guest with us today, Ambassador Phebean Swill. She's a journalist, a TV presenter, an actress, a media mogul, and she has her hands in so many pots, and she's doing amazing work in the country. So we've talked about a lot, so we're going to continue the conversation for the next 15 minutes because she has to leave and she has other engagements to be in. So Phoebe, I have a friend of mine. He lives in you can also call to be a part of the show. Call us on 079-994-993, or you can text us on Facebook. We'll definitely answer your questions or comments. I have a friend. He lives in Virginia, And so I think he was watching the show when the news broke about just I think just Lyticus. So he was watching the news and
AKA Umaru Sharif.
I know how that happened. Only God knows. So yeah, and I think your line of questioning were very stern, and it was fearless. And so she called me up. She was like, "I saw your flyer and you and Phoebe. I like that lady, man. She's very stern. She's fearless." She was asking the questions with she was like no hold bars. Like, I mean, she was very strong, and even these guys were politicians. I felt like she should be afraid of them, of what they could do, but she was very fearless. And I think he's seen some of your clips in the past, but maybe passively. That was the first time he had to pay attention, and then so I was like, yeah, I mean, she's like that. How do you've spoken to that a bit, but how do you prepare for such interviews like that? How do you feel intimidated afterwards? After having such stern line of questions and interviews.
Interesting. So first of all, my line of work did not happen by chance. I was called to serve in this capacity by God when He chose my career path. So when I work, I am always afraid of one being. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Yeah.
He sits on His throne and He sees. Yeah. If I go there and do not do my best professionally, certain people would be pleased. But God, who has appointed me to do the work I'm doing, would judge me. Yeah. I don't want His judgment. I want His blessings. So when I sit to do my work, I'm not a fair face. Because what I also have in mind is when things happen and you sweep the right questions under the carpet, you're not even doing the guest a favor.
No.
You're not. No. Because the questions remain still in public domain, unanswered. The best thing you can do for people is ask them the right questions. Molko, if I'm here today as your guest to talk about current issues, and then I just had somebody accuse me of stealing something, you cannot talk to me about how I cook cassava leaves very well. By the time we're done, that question of Natu say you thief would still be hanging. It is in the person's best interest to ask the question, thereby giving them an opportunity to tell their side of the story and clear the air. So this is how I always see it. This is my perspective. You are not doing anybody a favor. To those journalists who think, because in a particular or they associate with APC or SLPP or certain parties for whatever reasons, you're doing them a favor by not asking the tough questions. You're not doing them a favor because you would have done that interview. The public don't assume that people are fools. They would still say, "Bona nonsense, una go de pa. Who's interview this? All the thing that we wanna for ask for one, don't let." That's why you would do. It's a privilege for you as the journalist to hold the position you hold. There are people out there who do it better than you. Check some conversations, some interviews. Check the comment section. You would see some brilliant questions asked. Don't ever go by thinking, "Oh, let me get the opportunity and privilege." No, ask the right questions because when you sit as a journalist, you are the link between the public and the government. You are the link between the people being governed and the people governing those people.
Absolutely.
So never you go there thinking, "Oh, I have to represent those governing." No, you should sit there, understand that it's a privilege, it's a responsibility, it's a calling. Don't sit on that chair to conduct interviews and abuse your role as a journalist.
True.
If you're tired of being a journalist, quit. Go do PR or go work for some of these politicians or APC get newspaper, SLPP get newspaper. Go work for them. But exactly, go work for them. But if you're gonna sit as a journalist, I have this thing. I love myself more than I love anybody else. And that's the way it should be.
Naturally.
Mulko, if you're my friend and you're a politician, what makes you think I would like you as a friend a politician more than I like myself. To a point, I would sit to conduct an interview and make a mockery of myself. So professionally, I stain my reputation just to do you good, not to like understanding a stupidity.
Not true.
I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna do you so much favor, and at the end of the day, me get bad name say now it's in Phoebean we they do. So now it's kind of interviewed and they no.
It's basically
No.
tarnishing your character.
Exactly.
Basically make you look bad, like you're unprofessional, and actually you give people enough weapon for say she belongs to this part. Because
I don't owe nobody more love than myself, because Bible tell me say love thy neighbor as thyself, not more than thyself. So I'm not going to love anybody more than I love myself. And that's what I see some journalists do. So you mortgage your reputation, you mortgage your respect, your integrity, your professionalism just to please certain people. So you like those people more than you like yourself, more than you like your reputation, because you would work today. We all don't get for live up to 200 years. It's not possible. Those days are gone. So upon your service to this land of the living, when you pass on, what would people remember you for? Would they remember you as that fierce journalist who did your work professionally at the best of your capacities, or would they remember you as that party picking journalist? What do you want to be remembered for? I want to be remembered, if not for anything, say that was a fearless, bold woman who would sit there, conduct interviews and ask the right questions and not care about who would feel good, but serve the interest of the people. That's what I want to be remembered for.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. I mean, you just laid it out there bare. So I saw, I think on LinkedIn, I know you have to go, but I saw on LinkedIn you were given an award. I think it's from Nigeria, I think, for your business. I'm trying to look it up, but the internet's really don't discuss me.
Which one of them?
I
so
think
there's
it was
the 40 under 40 Africa for as the CEO of Wow Studios.
Wow Studios.
Yeah, that was in Kenya.
Okay. Speak a little bit about the business, the Wow Studios.
Okay, so Wow Studios is a content creation company. We specialize in behavioral change. So the goal is to use edutainment to pass on key messages of civic rights and responsibilities. Basically, things that people should have. We do call to action. We're trying to inspire positive behavioral change through, so we're either doing it through movies, documentaries, through TV drama series. Very recently we had this sense board we launched last year, and we're still doing it. So it's a short 5 to 7 minutes maximum content we release on our social media pages. It's sensitization. Right now we've been doing sensitization on Kush, different sides to Kush. Now we're moving on to traffic.
So it's like a social entrepreneurship. You fund it.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what we do. We're
that's
just
good.
creating content to. The first thing we did was that film Watibera. Watibera is based on the true story of Zainab Hawa Bangura, the current Director General of the United Nations Office in Nairobi. So that story was to speak to child marriage and teenage pregnancy and the need to educate girls. Because her story, from Yoni Bana to illiterate poor parents, today she sits at UN through the education she acquired instead of being sent to child marriage. So these are the contents. We did April 27. Military coup has been a trend across Africa on the rise. Nothing like we've seen in previous years in Africa. So April 27 was speaking to that. You would have good intentions to have military intervention, but how do we wait as a people till it gets to that point when military has to intervene? When there was the military, there was the police, there were the journalists, everyone was there looking things go radically wrong, only to now have military interventions. And so this is what we do with Wow Studios. It's content creation, but it's very intentional on edutainment. It's behavioral change, development communication.
That's fantastic. You're doing amazing work, and thank you for all you do, and thank you for inspiring young people, the young generation. Thank you for contributing to society and national development. The work you do is not an easy work. I don't think you get your flowers. People give you your flowers, but I think
people out of Sierra Leone give me. That's why even the one you spoke about in Ghana, that one came this February as one of the 100 inspiring young leaders in Africa. And that award ceremony is happening this April in Accra, Ghana. I get my flowers out of Sierra Leone.
I mean, we should be. I mean, I know it's not a common thing for Salomon for actually giving flowers. We know they do that. We rather keep on talking to other people and want to talk to you. You've been doing a fantastic work,
Thank
and
you.
you actually inspiring a lot of young people, nationally, internationally. Keep doing your work, and as we go, what would be your last words for young people? Like, what can you advise the young girl out there, who is struggling, who's trying to really put a button on what you want to become, who is grasping to figure out where to go, the next steps. Do I just sit back and sleep all day, not do nothing, not do nothing? Or, what would you say to that girl or a guy out there listening to you?
To that young, I'll start with the girls because the advice to the girls is not exactly the same to the guys, even though there are certain pieces of advice that would be general. To the girls, use what you have upstairs to make it. Don't use what's between your legs. There's no reason you have a brain, you're hardworking, you cannot attain success. There's no reason you need to use what's between your legs. Once you begin to sleep around, the same people you think would elevate you, you would come to a point where you would have disagreements and altercations. Or you would think this person, I don't pass in level, you go to the higher person. They would begin to talk about you. Not see where they make so cheap, but we don't sleep with them. We live in a society where when men have when they're promiscuous, it's a plus.
Yeah.
So society has made it seem. But when it's the flip side for a woman, it's a minus. You don't want that. Besides, that success that you get, it's sweeter when you worked for it, you earned it. One of the things you need to avoid in school, don't sleep with your lecturers. At work, avoid dating your bosses. I started working as a 17-year-old girl back in 2009. This is 2025. It's almost about 17 years since I started working. Guess what? I've never, ever had a relationship with my boss in any office I've worked. I've worked in Sierra Leone and out of Sierra Leone. I've never slept with any of my bosses. I've never nurtured a relationship in the company that I work. You know why? I don't want where the bluff with me success. Someone comes to just rubbish it for me and say, oh, now because they sleep with so person. No. I am a woman, an individual on my own. Let me earn the success so I can come back to give God all the glory for that. But I don't want someone to come and say, oh, it's because she was sleeping with that lecturer or the head of a faculty or department, or it's because she was sleeping with her boss, or it's because she's sleeping with her senior in the office. No. I have that ego in me. My success, God should take the glory for it. And people should acknowledge that God used me and certain people around me to bless me without me opening my legs for people. You have to have sexual discipline. You need that. Don't just go about laying down with anyone. It does not do you any good. That's the shortcut in life.
Yeah.
But there's always a problem with a shortcut in life.
Exactly.
Always a problem.
Doesn't last.
Earn your own space, earn your own success stories. Go to people who know, ask for guidance, seek mentorship, seek coaching from people. If you go to certain people, they turn you down, no problem. There would be other people who are available. And now with the resources available online, use resources online, improve your craft. Just be serious to be your own person. Strive for your success. Because that success where say now you don't work hard for where they come. You they enjoy them. You they enjoy them. It brings you peace of mind, a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. So work for what you're getting. Earn it. Don't go for a shortcut. Keep your legs together. Sleep with people because you love them and you're in a relationship, not as a stepping stone to your success. No. Success is not sexually transmitted. Success is earned. It's worked for. There's a process. You need to go through the process of becoming to become. So go through the process.
And it works.
Yeah.
You're a living example of that.
Exactly. Till date, that's why sometimes I'm fearless with asking people, because we're done with your interview. There's no way you're going on social media. Look, Phebean been sleep with so person. That's a bloody lie. I don't need to be sleeping with people to be successful. If I'm with you, I genuinely see you as someone that I have a love interest in. But I go sleep so, let you make an alive. No, success is not sexually transmitted. Even to the boys, to the men, young men, be serious. Even though society is making you think promiscuity helps you, it doesn't. It doesn't. It just drains you. It distracts you. It ruins you. There are people I admire in the world. There's this NBA guy. Why I keep forgetting him? This guy, why I like in business, he's been with the same woman. He's very loyal to his family. Oh, this me namesake back Messi, the footballer.
Oh yeah. Leo,
Messi
Leo,
na me
Messi.
middle name. We the Messi them were really good people. Messi is very. He's very disciplined. That's the word I'm looking for. He's very disciplined. Sexual discipline is very important. It really is. Messi is disciplined. This NBA guy, I don't forget his name.
James, Steph Curry.
LeBron.
Steph, yeah.
I admire
LeBron,
him.
Savannah,
He's
been since high
very,
school.
he's very disciplined. He's stuck with his woman, and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't just look at yourself and think, right now you're younger, they make an alive. See, the world is changing. Even for men, it's dangerous that you're everywhere. On my intention, way they go, look yourself, say no more, you get money today, you're this, you're that. Have discipline.
Yeah.
Figure yourself out in life.
Yes.
You sleeping around, what you gain? No, honestly, those who sleep around, what you they gain? Pan they sleeping
Just
around.
feed the ego.
That's the thing about sexual pleasure.
Just feed
Elekuda you sleep with, now the same few minutes you get for last no more. It's not like you're gonna spend for hours doing what you're doing.
It's an ego trip.
So it's just have discipline and be very focused in life. Do not look for a shortcut in life. Shortcuts get one problem. You've not gained enough experience and wisdom to navigate yourself and maintain the success when it comes.
Yes.
Use the organic route. So by the time you're up there, the lessons you have learned from your challenges and your struggles down there would be able to sustain you when you get up there. But if you find shortcuts in life, you they go get the success now, you know you will manage them. Even if it's money, you see the drug dealers, the money where they make, who say they gonna lucky money? What do they do with it? Really, honestly.
Absolutely.
So you have to try to be successful on God's terms.
Yeah, and it
On
works.
God's terms.
And that works.
This world is shuttle.
Yeah, of course.
Eternity now where you go don't die.
Yeah.
That's when you know now play you be the play with your life if you're not being all God to one. You cannot you did not create yourself. There's a God who sits on his throne who did creation.
Absolutely.
You cannot come and do what you feel like doing. He give you free will, so he would let you. At some point he would judge you.
Yes.
When he is judging, if you have not performed as he wanted you, now negative judgment you dey get. If you had performed as he wanted you, even if not perfectly, but you've done it in ways he is pleased, now reward, blessings you would get. So live a good, godly life. Let your relationship, sadly, Boku people and Salon are Muslims and Christians, but our lifestyle does not depict the holy books that we believe in. Don't be a hypocrite Muslim or a hypocrite Christian. Do as the book where you say you believe. If you say you're a Christian, you believe in the Bible, stick to what God says you should be. You would not be perfect, but make effort.
Yes. There you have it. We will take a short break and then we will come back, and when we come we will close this episode.
Your body, yeah. Tell your body, yeah. Said I made the make all man they glad, yeah. I never tried it. Take up your body to the beach, yeah. Me a box up the place in a style, yeah.
Famous to all the baby where don't broke me at, where don't make me feel like say I'm not man enough. I no get nothing for offer. To all the party will look down on me, where don't make me feel like say my life no good become something. And they walked away. All the people will promise for help me. They say come office today, tomorrow next tomorrow. The story not just the same, but I refuse to give up. I kept on hoping, I kept believing. Now everything don't change. Me wanna see me life now. It don't get better now. Famous standing name now. You know go fit say you don't know me now. Anytime I like a fly to Dubai now. Hey, with me baby now. Anything I like I dey buy now. Turn up, 'cause me I dey turn down.
Welcome back again. If you're just joining us, we had Phebean Swill with us, and this is your favorite talk show, Talk to Him, and brought to you by Epic Radio and Molko. I am your host, Molko Sulaiman Bangura, and we just closed the interview with Phebean, and she was amazing. If you missed this one, definitely go on YouTube, go to the Epic Radio Facebook page, and then you can watch the live show there, or you can watch the repeat show will be there. Also, you can go on my YouTube page, Molko Sulaiman Bangura. You will find a copy of this recordings. And I mean, if you're a young person, if you're not a young girl picking or young boy picking, go watch the show, go listen to some of the gems with Phoebean Dolly. And if you intend for going to journalism, I mean, this is something you can also listen to and learn from. And thank you so much, Phoebe. For just sum up within Phoebe say, as we round up the show now, I mean, aside from the fact that genetically Phoebe come up from a house or home of journalists, um, she recognized that, but and not just sit on on all that. He decide for really go and basically work on all the features and characteristics she possesses. So for young person really out there, most of the time, I mean, you have to become an adult. One way or the other, you cannot remain a child. You cannot remain a teenager. You can't remain in secondary school forever. No, you can't hide from responsibility. No, you cannot just sit. You cannot just depend on your uncle or depend on your auntie or depend on your mama and papa for coming through for you one all the time. One day they're not for daily. You can't depend on your auntie or your uncle. You, I mean, maturity, adulthood is going to catch up with you at some point in time. So when you go school, you don't reach that stage for decide what you want to be. You have to be intentional about deciding what you want to be, because that's the beginning of you making lifetime choices. I mean, choices that you can't go back. Once you don't make those choices, and that's it. You cannot go back. You can't, and it's going to get tougher, more difficult, more challenging. It's not going to get better. So you have to be really intentional about making a career choice, or else you would be a failure. I mean, nobody wants to be a failure. Or you would grow up to become somebody where you go do something where you don't ever lack for do. You don't want to do that thing because you have to do it to really bring food on your table. Till you don't lack for do. So when making those choices, be intentional about looking inwards. What do you have? What do you know? What do you lack for do? And cultivate those things. See how best you can figure out, like for instance, if you're not possible, you really like for watch movies, but at the same time when you watch movies, you don't only look movies. Oh, you want to know that directs the movie, you want to know that you want to watch the behind the scenes, how they create the movie, you want to know how they write the script, you want to see how the character then come to life, you want to see if you're not that kind of person that you find yourself very, I mean, you're curious about those things. Why not try to go into film school? Why not go into drama? Why not go into theater? Why not go into then things into storytelling? Because you get the passion for that. That's actually your driving force. And listen, you don't everybody nobody know we all not gonna be Bill Gates. We all not gonna be billionaire. We all not gonna be Mark Zuckerberg. We all not gonna be Elon Musk. We all can't be Bill Gates. We all can't be the billionaires of the world. You know. But God positioned we now so for make we become and achieve which we need to achieve and contribute to society in one way or the other. And you have to be satisfied with that. That's why in the past, when we get teachers in our school, we love for teach. We actually like for teach. They love it because they did it not for the money. They did it for the passion. They don't want to be millionaires. They only want with the month's on, they get them pay, able to feed them picking, then are in small houses, and for them, that's success. If that's the kind of person you are still successful. You are not a failure. Because you love what you do, you enjoy what you do, and it makes you feel like you've never worked a single day in your life. So, as you think about your future, think about looking inwards. What do you have? What do you know? And how can you cultivate, enhance, improve on what you have, what you know, for become what you get for become in the future? Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Join me again next Tuesday. In fact, we get a very special guest for you on Tuesday. Tuesday show is going to be an amazing show. I mean, I know we want for remove the cat out of the bag, but Tuesday show going to be a very impressive and phenomenal show. We get a phenomenal guest. It will be a young guy. I mean, a young guy we all know, but I want we for Larry just build that expectation, then heighten the expectations. And thank you for joining us. If you're a young person out there, if you they struggle with mentorship, please drop a message on the Facebook comments. If you struggle for figure out what you want for become, drop a message on the Facebook, and then somebody will reach out to you, because we dey also try for see how best we can point people into the right resources and help them, because this show actually we not just want for talk about these things, we want for see how best we can provide the support, further, because you can just say that I want to talk no more than paper. No, we're actually intentional about helping young people out there. So if you're not that kind of person that with the struggle, please drop. And before I go, I need to also mention this. We had last Saturday we had the Sierra Leone United States Alumni Association program in our golf club. We bring together CEOs, professors, bring together entrepreneurs, women in STEM, people that they manage big companies, big institutions, and organizations all over Sierra Leone. That was an event we attract. The U.S. ambassador was there. The U.S. ambassador gave, the speech, the keynote address, and followed by Salwa. We give also the address on behalf of SLUSA. She's the president of SLUSA. It was an event where attracts key, personnel. Highly trained professionals, people of higher caliber in our society. Those are the kind of events young people for the young for the attend. Those are the kind of events young people for the go and network with people. Not of us you don't all day you didn't have phone, you browse TikTok, you watch. If social media is something you're interested in, do something about it. Not just day no more and no more you watch, you scroll every now and then, you don't do anything about it. Do something about it. Start figuring out how to make money from it and go into content creation, right? But if they do nothing, you just sit on the house all day, you're on social media and they get events like Tenka, so they go, you're not helping yourself. These are the kind of events you go, even as a young professional, wherever you do, wherever you find yourself, go to the events and they shake hands, meet with people, connect with them, take their emails, take their phone numbers, and then you connect professionally, establish professional relationship. I understand. Some people and then they answer their phone, some then they answer their email, so then they can't go foolish talk to them. We've heard that over and over and over. They are out of 100%, you must get 10%. Where you still stay focused and do the right thing. Let them 10% and they attract those 10%. You cannot win if you don't take chances, if you don't take risk. So my advice to every young person is out there: go seek for resources, have a mentor, take risk, cultivate your abilities, and be humble. And most importantly, put God first. Ask God first. Ask God for your divine help, for your divine attention, and you see where you would head to. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you for joining me on Facebook. Thank you also for listening on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. This is your favorite radio show. Continue for listening, and also we will be with you again next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. sharp, with another phenomenal guest and an amazing show for you. I've been your host, Morko Suleiman Bangura. Until next week, this is your favorite show, the Talk to M Show. Goodbye.
For this one way we did, people go come inside you live. Some go
Welcome to another thrilling edition of We Epic Morning